My name is Leo Connors, and welcome to the ring and all other sports. As you can see, my voice still isn't back 100%. I got a co-host and a guest. My special guest is Mr. John Cena, Senior.
Thank you.
And my co-host is my good friend, Dave Fournier. Dave, we're a little far
I'm sure
today.
It's John Cena. It looks like the Grinch to me.
Yeah.
You're a mean one.
Speaking, not seeing that you sang, you know what I told Todd Graham? Next time he comes, I want him to bring his guitar. Because you see Todd, he plays on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Play once in a
Yeah.
while. I love Todd, man. People that ever talk
Todd
crap
Hanson?
about, no, Todd Graham.
Graham.
Proving Ground. Love Todd. Great dude. All right, let's get right into it. The first question is from Adam Luce, who's a great independent fan. Will you ever promote your own shows? Uh-oh.
Sounds like it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
It is, and I guess the answer is very simple. Several times I've come real close. I always want to start the fabulous world of women's wrestling. I think the women are underrated.
Absolutely.
They use them incorrectly. They don't allow them to shine and be what they really are. I'm going to put it bluntly. A lot of these women could probably kick a lot of these guys' asses.
I agree.
And they don't have the chance. They use them the wrong way. So yes, I have. And yes, if I had a couple of individuals that wanted to come along with me for the ride,
right,
I definitely would start a promotion and we'd bring some shows around. And I'll bet you we'd bring back something that you don't see anymore.
Right.
Wrestling.
Yes, absolutely. All right, next question is from Sonny Goodspeed. How did you break into the business? Good old Sonny. Thank you, Sonny.
I love
Thank
that
you, Adam.
man. I love Sonny Goodspeed. The way I broke into the business was kind of simple. I had gone through a divorce, and John had already been down or at UPW in California.
Yep.
So that makes me second generation. I'm proud to say that.
Right.
Because I can still kick his ass. So I'm second generation. And the way it started was Knuckles Nelson, Star Wars
Love
Wrestling, was, and he's a great guy. Knuckles is,
yes.
Was looking for a ring announcer. So I gave John a call, said, how you doing? Good. I said, I'm still feeling under the weather, a little depressed. I'd gone through 34 years of marriage, and, two of us, takes two to make it, two to break it.
That's right.
So I told him about the ring announcer. I said, get down and try out. So I went down, I tried out, he grabbed the stick, and Nelson said, wow, great set of pipes, man. I think you do a great job in the ring. He said, but I got somebody. I said, nah, no sweat. I get somebody else. I was going to try to give me another name.
Right.
I'm going to go. He said, no, hang on. He said, I'm looking for somebody to be a heel manager. Now, up until that point, I'd done a few bumps and bops, a little bit of school. I promoted. And when the kids came, I stopped and said, right time, right place.
Right.
So Knuckles and I are batting around. What are you going to call him? What do we call this guy? You can't use Johnny Cash. You can't use, Johnny Super or all this stuff. And I said, Knuckles, whatever we call this guy, he's got to be fabulous. Johnny Fabulous.
Yeah.
And that was it. The most arrogant individual you could find. And from that day on, that's how I get in. And thank God at my age, I'm still at it.
Nice.
Do you remember some of the talent that was there during? There was some really young, upcoming talent that has gone on to TNA, WWE since
With
those
Knuckles
days.
Nelson?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. There was a lot of good talent there. And then, excuse me, must be the Pope again. I'm telling you. Oh, it's my dog's vet.
Uh-oh.
Just,
Good.
No.
We've never done it yet. This will be fun. Go.
Go for it, John.
Hello?
Afterwards, why don't you name some of the talent
Good.
too? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
I never went to any of his shows.
You never, yeah. Well, I think that was
I got nothing
during
to
that
do
time
with
when you
baby,
weren't really
only
going much,
Vinny.
right?
I was getting sober.
I'm doing a television show. You're on the air right now, so I hope you enjoy it.
This is great.
But I'm not sure I'll make it for 4. Can we reschedule that? Can you call me back with another date? Seriously?
How about the Bruins?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Unbelievable.
Can I finish the TV
I know,
show?
they've been really good.
All right. Give me a call with a new date. Thanks. Bye-bye.
That's the first. We had to do it. Had to. I think that was funny.
You're fired. That's all I heard. You're fired.
All right, so back to what David asked. Do you remember any of the guys that was there at Wrestling Star Wars for Knuckles?
I remember Freight Train. He was there. Big Gun Jim Sargent was there.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of some of the individuals we had.
One of his first matches was Diehead Eddie Edwards for Wrestling Star Wars.
I remember Eddie. Eddie's a
Really?
good personal
Yes.
friend.
Back when he had the blue hair.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Eddie
wild.
was there. Knuckles had a good thing going there. I don't know what happened. We were doing 300 or 400 people, and then all of a sudden,
And it was like every 2 weeks I used to go up, and watch the shows. And
Yeah.
there were times WWE was in town. I went up to watch the Knuckles shows.
Right.
yeah, Knuckles had a great, and he does have a great mind for this business. I think he has a tendency to undersell himself. He's one of the best.
Yeah. What? The Eliminators ever wrestle up there? I could have sworn
That was
somebody's.
so they did wrestle in Salisbury, but that predates. That goes back to
Big
the Tony
City Mike.
Rumble days.
Right.
Big City Mike was running there. That was at
Okay.
Champs Arena when they had Champs Arena right on
The
the
front
beach.
store, right there,
Yes.
that first
Right.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yep.
All right. So our next question is Dan Bolio, and it's not. All right. Yeah, it is a question. You were the justice of the peace for my friend Tim's wedding back in 2011. How did you get into marrying people? Thanks, Dan.
I got divorced. No, that's no. I've been doing weddings now for 17 years.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I just did one Saturday for Chris and Hedda. He's Fury Falcone.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely,
Yep,
yes.
Fury Falcone and his bride Hedda. And
Well,
I'll tell
congratulations to
it
them.
was a great ceremony because they're all workers. It was
Right.
great. It was nuts. The way it happened was I had always wanted to do marriages.
Right.
And in order to be a justice in Massachusetts, I didn't realize this, but each municipality is allotted a certain number of justices.
Okay.
I live in West Newbury, and I think there was either one or two. And so I asked how to become a justice. You can do it, but you can't solemnize marriages. That's a special designation that goes with that. So I was then working for the city of Methuen as their assessor, and Sharon Pollard, great individual, and Senator Jujuga. I said, I would like to be a justice, and I would like to do marriages. So about a couple of days later, she came down and said, "You still interested?" I said, "Yes." The clerk that was retiring from West Newbury never got a justice. That position was open.
Wow.
So I filed right away, and thank God it went through.
That's awesome.
And that's how I began doing marriages. And, I write a service for every couple. No two services are the same.
Well, I'm gonna have to. Maybe you can marry somebody else. I'm getting married next year.
I'll do it for free.
So-
You're on. You're on. A
Thank
meatball
you.
sub.
Oh, absolutely.
You're on.
Can we broadcast it on Access Nashua?
Yep, we'll do it.
be fun.
I'll do it for you. You just
Thank
let me
you.
know.
All right. So listen, we got Ryan Brown. This isn't really a question, Ryan. He goes to shows. He's in a wheelchair.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Yep.
Johnny Fabulous is a great guy, always a class act. When I met him at ACW shows at the VFW in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, I still have a picture of him that I will cherish forever. Brian, thank you. He's such a good dude, Brian.
Thank you very much for the compliment. And I say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Without you and the fans, there is no professional wrestling.
Right.
And we need to understand that.
Right.
It's not about me. It's about us.
Yep. And we need more fans like Ryan.
We do. Amen. Oh, yeah.
And just to back
Yeah, please,
on that,
Dave.
one thing I've always been impressed with you as a person, John, is you'll be attending a show as a fan, and you'll be in the, outside where everybody's waiting to get in, and you're just talking to everybody, taking pictures with everybody, and never getting upset about it, just going with the flow and being
awesome.
super nice to everybody. And I think that's one of the better qualities because not everybody would be like that.
True.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That is very true.
Thank you.
All right, next question from my good friend Nathan Fuller. What is your favorite wrestling memory as a fan?
As a fan,
Yeah, that's a great question,
That's an
Ryan.
awesome question.
I could talk about Randy Orton's kick in the head.
But you weren't a fan for that.
No, I was.
You definitely wasn't a fan of it.
I was a football for
Yeah.
that. I guess I'd have to go back to the old days when we had kayfabe and wrestling was real.
Right.
And I guess the thing that I remember was Bruno Sammartino at Boston Garden getting defeated by the Russian.
1971.
I want to tell you something. I watched people cry.
I bet.
I watched people getting ready to riot, and they actually had to take they had to cover this guy up
Right.
and trying to get him out of there. That was a big memory for me, along with Zabisco. I don't know if you remember when Larry Zbyszko supposedly broke Bruno Sammartino's neck. That really made Zbyszko who he was.
Absolutely.
And Larry's a personal friend, a great guy. They actually had to bring him into Boston in the trunk of a car.
I believe
That's how
that.
bad it was. So, but my big memories are Sammartino, Jay Strongbow.
Yeah.
Those are the guy, and Kowalski. Those are the guys that made it real for me.
Right. Excellent.
And some of the managers they had then, like Lou Albano, the Grand Wizard, Freddie
The
Blassie.
three wise men.
I had the opportunity when I was promoting at Salem State. We did a show, and it was the Grand Wizard managing Stan Stasiak.
Oh, wow.
And what a great guy. He was intelligent, all of them. And then I remember Freddie Blassie was on the show, and the police had said, can't have any swearing, no blood. And I go, this is not going to work. So I said, Freddie, I talked to everybody downstairs. Yeah, okay. No, Victor Rivera was on it. Was great, strong.
I loved Victor Rivera when
we
I
had
was a
good
little
show.
kid.
That's the kind of house shows they used to send you.
Right.
Yes.
No, real. And so I'm sitting there with the timekeeper, and Blassie comes out of the ring,
Yeah.
and he's going to grab my chair. I said, you can't. Give me the effing chair. Okay, Freddie, you want the chair, John?
Right.
I remember the lady stole Stasiak's tape. He was looking for the tape. She stole his tape, and she's F-bombing him.
Wow.
Those were fun days.
Those guys, though, when I started watching wrestling, I was 7 years old. So
Yep.
all three guys were there managing, and they were all amazing. They all had their own little different style. I love the Wizard. You know, one of my
Insuranceman.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments on this show is Sidney Bacabella, right?
Yep.
Well, I interviewed Sidney, and he didn't know the Grand Wizard died.
Wow.
So
that was
he
tragic.
brought him
That
to
was-
tears.
That was quick. Lou Albano, I worked show with him.
Right.
The other guy I liked was Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt, one of the best.
Yep.
You know, I'll tell you who I really respect now in this, Paul Heyman.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Heyman.
Absolutely.
And for the female managers, they don't come any better than Vicky Guerrero.
Ooh, yes.
Absolutely.
I love that. I mean, everyone gets aggravated with it, but excuse me, she's awesome.
But she's the epitome, and so is Paul Heyman, of, like I tell the young kids when I work shows.
Right.
I say, you don't have to go out there and say, shut up, or give them the finger, or your body language and
Right.
your character should promote that. You notice when Guerrero comes out on that stage, she doesn't say one word. They're expecting that, and as soon as she raises her hand,
Yeah.
she gets the boo.
Yeah.
And it's one word that causes it. And Paul Heyman, his arrogance
Right.
creates the monster, and he puts this guy over. I mean, it's a great world.
It's amazing, too. Like right now, the bloodline and Sami Zayn and all that
Yep.
are killing it. And Paul's right there to help,
He's the man.
But Sami Zayn is doing the best work of his
tremendous.
career, at least in the WWE.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that
And
100%.
it starts, in my opinion, that match he had with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. That could have been so dumb. They did that so well.
Everybody was expecting it to be bad.
Yeah, Austin said on his podcast, he had Sammy on, and he's like, that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Usually things like that, they get too hokey and all that. He said, that thing was perfect.
Never underestimate anybody in this business.
Yes.
Anybody.
Absolutely. Now, do you think the art of managing is kind of lost in wrestling today? Because you don't see a lot of managers. Like WWE, think about it. If you can think of managers, Paul Heyman's like really the only one. A lot of the other promotions I feel is the same way. You don't have, like we were talking about back in the 80s, you had, 5, 6 different managers
Right.
going at once.
AEW, believe it or not, and I've been to a couple of their shows, has several managers. I think what's lost is the manager is a very important piece of the storyline. And I think that when you got guys that can wrestle
Right.
and can't speak, that's when the manager really makes the most sense. And when I'm face or heel, my job is not about making me look good, it's making you look good.
Exactly.
That's the name of the game.
Yes.
You know what? If I get the crowd upset and ticked off and you follow through with what a heel's supposed to do,
Right.
it's all about you, man. It ain't nothing about me.
Right.
But I just think that managers need to be brought back They need it. They really do.
100%.
They
There's
need
so
it.
many guys in the WWE, in AEW, even NXT, that are not strong on the microphone. And if they're not, give them somebody. There's plenty of people that can talk. You know, I'd love to see Dutch Mantel back up there.
What a great guy he is.
I see we were
Another one
supposed
of
to
my
meet him
favorite.
in North Carolina, and he canceled. So I'm hoping one of these times he's going to come back.
He's got a great podcast going now too.
Yeah. Oh, with James from
Yeah.
He is
very,
awesome.
very good.
Dutch is a great guy.
Yeah. You met, in the
I did some
WWE, right?
signings with him. Yeah, he was down with Marathi. I'll tell you, what a great guy Dutch Mantel is. And what a lot of that's what I love.
There's no doubt.
Like you do, sitting with the old, I'm one of them, but sitting with those gentlemen and women who started out when wrestling was wrestling. You never saw this group of wrestlers, heel and a face, walk into the restaurant together.
No.
You never saw us. No. You had to keep the kayfabe.
Yep.
But now, as you say, Vince has done it. He's the man that pulled the curtain back and said, it's entertainment.
Right.
And that was because of New York. Didn't have to get a license anymore, no doctors. You're all set. Smart move, I guess, when you're a businessman.
Oh, absolutely. All right, our next question is from Cody Hunter Ward. He says, Fabs, how could you screw Hunter Ward out of the APW Heavyweight Championship? Before you answer, I want to say it was probably easy for you. Did you like him? No, I'm just kidding, Cody.
Cody.
Another good guy.
What a guy. I'll tell you. Cody was a great guy, a great performer. You didn't have to screw out of Cody out of the title. He did that himself.
Thanks, Cody. First question, I think, in a long time. All right, Mav.
Oh, Maverick Wild?
And I didn't know this. He said, why won't he acknowledge me? I mean, the paternity test said was positive, Dad. I love Mav's quirky sense of humor. Is the
He
best.
is the best.
It is the best.
He followed up today. He actually was messaging me earlier today, and he had some additional comments. I'm not going to share that on the air.
All right, Mav is
We
the
just got
best.
talking about how you're his, he's your illegitimate child, and it just went from there. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. How's that?
But remember, at one point, man, he was in shape like your son. Mav was.
I did a lot of shows with him. Him, Kid USA.
Yep. Jay Gillette, yeah.
Big boy. They were like, oh man, good workers. I don't know. Sometimes. To answer his question, when you get hit too many times at a ring post, you start to believe things that aren't true.
He's actually gotten back. He's now training up at the Next Gen Pro Wrestling School up in Manchester.
I'm trying to get him in as soon as I can.
I'd like to do a show with that guy. If you need a manager, it's on me. I'd love to. What a great guy. And he doesn't. He's fine by himself.
And he's become a good friend over the years.
He's a great individual, great human being.
Here's another guy, not a question, but he is going to come on here soon because you set it up.
Yes.
Jeremy Carter.
AKA Outpatient.
Outpatient. This show looks to be a great one. Yes. Jeremy, it is.
Outpatient. Wow. You're doing well.
He's a good guy. I met him a long time ago, but I haven't talked to him in 20 years. I did a show for Trooper, and just people
Trooper
talking.
Galmori?
Yeah.
Wow, now we're going back in time.
Yeah. Another guy I love, man.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
I think he used that to cut pizza. Really.
Probably.
Him and Outpatient
All right,
were like a tag team. So,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And, we got to congratulate Outpatient. He's been on a weight loss goal, and he's doing excellent.
done well?
Outpatient,
Yes,
Jeremy.
yes. Great
Doing
job,
excellent
Jeremy.
job, so congratulations.
Yeah, he looks
He
fantastic.
does.
All right, this one's a long one. It's from referee
I'm leaving.
referee Richard Lannon. You know Richard?
No,
Rich
I
Lannon?
don't know who the hell he
All
is.
right.
No.
He's the mother of my older kids. That's her first cousin. Great guy.
All right.
He said, I refereed NECW's 20th anniversary collection, the Prototype versus Frankie Kazarian.
I was there. That was the
Yep.
first match you was here back
in
for.
front of all John's relatives. This bout from April 27, 2001 sees two future superstars in their early career bouts. The Prototype was on his way to OVW, making a stop at home to gather his belongings for the move to Louisville. His family had never seen him wrestle, so NECW gave them the opportunity. What is Senior's memories on that show?
Wow. I remember that show vividly. Thank you, Sheldon. Sheldon Goldberg.
Yeah.
Great guy, great promoter.
Absolutely.
A genius in the business.
Wrestling
He put that
historian.
together. I remember Kazarian came up. John was there. I said, I'd never seen him work per se, but this is how it's going to go down. Frankie was telling me how it's going to go down. It went down even better than what they said. Wow. My uncle was there. His mom, my former spouse was there. His brothers were all there. And I'll tell you, that was supposed to be, I guess, an in-ring thing. There's a little rhyme, right? But it was all over that place.
Wow.
All over that place. That was the match of matches. Two young men trying to show everybody what this business is really all about and how hungry they both were to get where they wanted to go. That was a great show, a great match. Even I yelling and screaming.
Right.
So it takes a lot to get me to that point.
Yep.
But that's how good that match was.
Now, John, I didn't get to see the NECW one, but they also did one for Chaotic at the Wonderland dog track. I don't know if it's the same weekend, but it was in that same time frame.
So it was Prototype versus Frankie
Kazarian, yes.
Wow.
I didn't get to see that one, but I would imagine that it was probably the same setup. And I guess the rule in the business is, if I'm in your hometown, you always go over.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm the guy that likes to swerve. So I don't know how that went down, but I do know the show that Sheldon had. That was one hell of a match. One hell of a match.
Nice.
Yeah, the Chaotic one was, I didn't see the NECW one, but it sounds like they were very similar.
Yeah, good.
And a lot of people don't know, like around here, that Frankie was trained out here. He's from California.
He is.
Great guy. I never met your son, but I met Frankie a few times. Super guy. Couldn't have been nicer. Dave, did you want to, before I keep going, did you want to ask anything?
Keep going.
Okay. Andy Miller. Andy Miller, who are your favorite indie wrestlers today?
Nobody.
Okay.
No.
Probably short and sweet.
No, as a matter of fact, I just did a show with Powerhouse, and I met Booker T's nephew.
Oh, nice.
What a great manager, verbally, great guy. There are some other young men, and you know what? Faces I'm good at.
Right.
Names I'm not so good at. I like the individuals and the indie wrestlers that aren't high flyers, that don't believe their own stuff. They're out there to entertain and work with the locker room, seek advice when they're done. There's so many out there. Yeah. There really is. There's so many out there. It's hard for me to say this is one, that one, that one. You get plenty of female wrestlers out there too. I just did a Powerhouse, Ivy, I believe was her name. Wow.
I remember her.
Not her, a new version.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
This lady is, wow. All I can say is,
that's awesome.
Wow. She was the heel. She took that stick, and let me tell you, did she put herself over? And during the match, she had an answer for every heckle.
Nice.
Great young lady.
I love that.
Great young lady. I like, there's a lot of up-and-coming stars.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I had one here last week, Brett B.I.G.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Ryan Gosling. Yeah. And like how you said, they're not all high flyers. Channing Thomas, very mat. I mean, he can fly, but he's more mat-oriented.
That's what you want. That's what you want. Bobby Ocean, another guy that can perform.
Yep.
I get Bobby. I don't know why they passed him up. I don't know why he isn't on one of their shows. But you know what? I remember Triple H doing Paul Levesque doing a seminar.
Yeah.
And somebody raised his hand and said, "How do I get?" And the answer was simple. What do you have that makes you different from everybody else? Everybody can fly off the top rope. What can you do? Your character, your hold, and that's what's missing today.
Yes.
When you look at these indie guys, and women, I'm not knocking them because God bless them for what they do, for what they get paid.
Yes.
That's why I can never stand.
And they're very athletic.
16-foot ladder onto a hot top? You're nuts. Yeah. Really, smarter, not harder. But what makes you different? Levesque used to say it all the time. I'm Paul Levesque, but when I go for the curtain, I'm Triple H.
Right.
And so when you develop that character, whomever you are, when you come through that curtain, be that person. Don't just come out there for they didn't pop, they didn't.
Right.
Wrong way to attack it. Wrong way to attack it.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Anyone
I just
add
think,
that?
that's the big thing that's missing from wrestling today is you go to some shows, and every match is the same match.
Right.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
for me, like
There's
I
a
get
super
bored. Like,
kick in every match.
if I start seeing the same match, it's like, okay, I get you were all trained at the same place.
Right.
But the same match is the same match. Like, just different people in it. Like, and then even then, like, if they're new people you've never seen before, they don't have a character built up, so there's nothing to get behind them.
And they lose it. They lose it, and they don't sell it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I despise in this indie thing is I have to get my shine. Well, you know what? I just did a show, and I was really upset at the two individuals that were out there that opened the show. Because I said to the promoter, I said, you see what they just did? Every friggin' move in the book.
Right.
Now, what are these people back here going to do?
Yeah.
You've already pulled the cards.
Yep.
52 cards out on the deck. What are I going to show you now?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
And it happens all the time.
When
time.
I'm running the back, I'll say right up front, look, I'll give you an example. Rick Fuller, chops. Nobody does chops.
Exactly.
Okay? GJ Strongbow, tomahawk.
Yep.
I don't want to see that shit out there. Sleeper holes. Don't do it.
Right.
What's your thing? That's all I want you to do. Maybe a couple of soups, but that's it. And don't go out of the ring or over the barricade.
Yes.
No, that should be saved only for certain occasions, I feel like.
And no blood.
Exactly,
No blood.
Dave.
No blood.
Yep. All right. Andy has a follow-up. Who are your favorite main roster wrestlers from any promotion today?
Well, I do like Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I think Jericho does well at what he does. Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre. AJ Styles.
Yep.
Guys that aren't wrestling, Booker T. Road Dogg. I look at these up-and-coming wrestlers at AEW
Right.
who will be making a lot of history soon. Steven Regal, who's going back to WWE.
Yes.
And I can understand why. His son is over there, and it makes a lot of sense.
I didn't know that part until I heard that. I did not know his son was there.
That's the real reason.
Right.
He's a tremendous man with a tremendous amount of knowledge.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tell you, Mark Henry.
Yep.
Mark Henry. Those are some. Female wrestlers, I would say Victoria was one. I like Molly Holly. Quick, help me out. She does the country western.
Country Western.
No, not Lacey Evans.
No. I just went blank now.
Which company?
She was with Impact, I think. Her husband wrestles.
Jordan Grace.
Nope, her husband wrestles.
I don't watch much Impact, so I
don't know
I
who else is
apologize.
there. I know Jordan Grace is married
She
to
got the
Grisham,
southern
that's all.
accent. Oh, come on, Johnny, baby.
don't.
My brain is gone. I'll think of it. I'll let
All
you know.
You didn't mention MJF. Do you like MJF?
I watched this. I was there for his promo. Okay. When I used to work for the Salem News, going through college, I used to do a lot of writing for the newspaper. In addition to taking the obituaries, I brought an article to the editor, and he sat there and he went, "Not a bad job, kid, but remember, even the Bible can be written in one paragraph."
Oh, wow.
That thing was too long, too drawn out, and too
Right.
full of bullshit.
Okay.
They could have taken those highlights, and the kid's got some charisma. Whether he's going to go all the way or not, I don't know, because he's kind of stealing character from here, there, and everywhere. Let's wait and see what happens with him. They gave him the strap.
Yep.
I think Moxley needed a rest. There's no question about it. John Moxley's another guy who I should have added to the list that I highly respect. Bryan Danielson.
Yep.
They're all coming into play now.
Best man.
Yeah. When you look at these people, I don't know. MJF. Let's see what happens.
A lot of the guys you just mentioned is my personal favorite time at Ring of Honor. A lot of those guys were there. I did a lot of catering for them the first 2 years in Massachusetts, and I mean AJ Styles, just all those guys. Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe's a
great
good
guys
man.
and
Good
what
man.
incredible workers. I just love that roster. Anywhere from 2002 to 2006.
There you go.
Claudio, all those guys.
There's a guy that can wrestle. Claudio Castagnoli.
Dave knows how long have I been saying they should have gave him the belt, but obviously he would need someone to talk for him. But that would be fine.
What have I been saying? What have you all been saying, right?
Yeah.
His work in the ring is unbelievable.
Guy's a master.
Yeah. Human horses, I heard someone call him one time. He's like a human horse. He's just so strong.
Keeps going. He just keeps going.
Yep. All right. Brian Medina, what promotions are you with now?
Whoever I want to be.
All right. You worked for what Powerhouse the other night.
I did Powerhouse. I did Cousin Larry up there in Maine.
Yeah, NAWA.
For autism. I used to be with APW. I think as I get older, you kind of take a little bit of a back seat. It doesn't mean I don't want to do it.
Right.
It just means between the weddings, Santa Claus that I'm doing now.
Oh, nice.
And the other stuff, I have a wedding December 31st. I forgot I even had it. But so you kind of slow down. But I'm available if anybody wants to give me a jingle. My booking fees are pretty simple. You make a donation to Make-A-Wish.
That's awesome.
Shriners Burn Center. That's it.
They played Santa too,
Just recently for Pat Dillon at an elementary school in South Boston last weekend.
See that? I've been
That's
doing
pretty cool.
It really got me, I wasn't so much feeling the Christmas spirit as much as I normally
Right.
would this year.
That'll
and doing
change
that
your
just
attitude, huh?
changed the whole thing, just seeing those kids. And I was all worried. I'm like, do I look right? Do I look
Right.
Those kids could have cared less how, if the beard didn't fit 100%. They just saw Santa Claus. They were just so. Yeah.
So now you really know though why I like to work at an elementary school
Yes.
compared to the other grades, because the
32
kids are
years
just
I've been doing it.
fantastic.
32 years. Wow.
Santa Claus is a long time. I'm at the Hammond Castle the 16th and 17th of this month. I just did the Festival of Trees and
Cool.
the Polar Express.
Nice.
I have a lot of fun doing it.
Excellent. You good?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Brian Medina, follow-up question. Any chance have you ever managing former indie stars such as Dijak or one of my favorites, Carmelo Hayes?
I used to manage Dijak at APW.
Yep.
One of the things, he's a chaotic graduate, I guess, along with a few others. But we had a match, and the thing that turned me off was the match had already been discussed. It was supposed to be, you get in, you get your ass kicked in 2 minutes, and we're out.
Right.
I'm managing Dijak. We build him up to be this,
Oh, yeah.
and you've never seen him go off his feet.
Right.
Yeah, well, this guy gets a top rope, nails him. Dijak's on one knee, pounding the shit out of him, pardon my expression. And then 8 minutes later, Dijak punches him and knocks him out. And this is a good example of what I've been saying all along. I go to the back and I say, what was that all about? Do you realize, Mr. Dijak, that we have worked hard to develop what we have,
Right.
and it's gone?
In one
The answer-
match.
And the answer from his opponent was, I had to get my shine. When a promoter tells you you go in and get the beat down,
That's
and
it.
you're finished. And like I said to people, well, you don't have the belt. He's not the winner. Wait a minute, Dave. When you lose, is the check the same as when you win?
Well,
there you go.
Last time I checked,
Exactly.
Is it called
I mean,
entertainment?
there's no more kayfabe now. So
Dave,
let's be honest.
It's
Nice.
called
The
entertainment.
The winner and losers
isn't it?
don't get set. Back in the 80s, we all believed that the winners and losers got, separate paychecks,
Or you were the champ because you were the best.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
champ
Right.
because you put more asses in seats.
I mean, you look at, for instance, we just brought him up, Carmelo Hayes,
Oh, nice guy.
right? Even though, the matches he don't win, he makes those guys look so good as they do him,
Absolutely.
But I will say, I would love to get back, and Dijak was a great performer.
Right.
And I mean that, and he cared about it. He wanted to succeed, and he realized, what have I just done? You never should have been taken off
Yeah.
your feet. And when you caught him coming off the rope, I'd have slammed him, and it would have been a 1, 2, 3.
Right.
It would have been over and done with. I'd love to get back and do it, but he's in NXT now.
Yeah. And they gave him a new gimmick.
Yep.
So hopefully it'll work out for him
He
this
has a
time.
manager, doesn't he?
No, not anymore. Nope.
Call me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm ready.
All right. Ken Watson, who have you enjoyed working angles with?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, I knew
As
that.
much as I
How
hate him.
could you?
No, that was not fun with that. That was not good. Edge, that was just fantastic.
Right.
That thing we did at the house, I'll never forget Bruce Pritchard saying, Vince McMahon said it's the worst piece that he's ever seen in his life. And I said, got a lot of mileage out of it though, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, Edge. I've enjoyed working with Sonny Goodspeed. Joe Moakley on the indie side. I've worked with, I'll tell you, Bobby Lashley was fun. Roddy Piper was excellent to work with. He and I did a couple of in-ring promos for Big Time Wrestling. I did 3 shows with him. What a tremendous worker. Greg Valentine. I had a chance to work with Kamala, Jimmy Snuka, all these guys that I had the opportunity to watch.
Right.
I worked with.
That's amazing.
When you sit back and I'll tell you, the one guy that I was really worried about working, we were down the Cape, and it was Big Time Wrestling's champ, Steele, I think his name is, against this guy.
Not Steele. I know who you mean.
Flex.
Flex
Armstrong. Yeah.
What a powerhouse he is.
Big guy, yeah.
Nice kid. And his manager was Ken Shamrock.
Oh, wow.
So the deal is, we cheat. I get rolled out of the ring, and it's the ping pong ball, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
I get thrown back in, and Shamrock puts a leg lock on me. All I could say to myself was, I'm going to hear a snap. This guy's got this look in his eyes.
Right.
But what a great man. What a great man to talk to. I mean this, truly. I didn't even know I had it on. It's the same thing with Ric Flair when he put the figure 4.
Yep.
That was in Webster, right?
Webster, I did a couple shows with Rick.
Yeah.
And what a tremendous human being he is.
Right.
And the other guy I have a lot of fun with is Mick Foley. I think Mr. Sacco and I become brothers. A brother from another mother, I'm not sure. And Mick, by the way, plays Santa Claus.
Yes.
So we have a lot of fun. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of guys. None of them stand out. Maybe Piper, Flair, Foley. Even Lou Albano, I worked with him. Captain Lou Albano in his book, I don't know if you got a copy of it, you should read it, often imitated but never duplicated.
Right. He used to say that all the time.
Great guy.
I got to say, Ken Shamrock has a lot of respect for the pro wrestling business. Like,
what a great man.
So much
I
respect.
got to tell you something. What a great, and I mean this truly.
Oh, I'd love to.
You know me well enough.
I'm
if I want to say
fan.
it, I'll say it.
Right.
You're a piece of garbage. But no, all these gentlemen that I'm talking about, Shamrock, what a great human being.
Yeah, nice.
What a great guy.
All right, Ken has a follow-up. A follow-up, has anyone made you break character? Laughing maybe during a match?
No.
Okay. Gina Barbado McGinnis. Such a nice man. Always ran into him and enjoyed our chats. Brian Medina with a follow-up. Indeed, he is a class act. Super nice guy.
Thank you for the compliments.
And I'm almost at the end of questions here.
Before we get to the I know you're going to probably play the name game, correct?
Yeah.
Before we get to that, if you had a, we'll say kid or even an adult that decided they wanted to come into the wrestling business and they came to you and said, what advice would you give me for coming into the wrestling business? What would that be?
I guess the first thing is, do you really want it? The second thing is that in order to achieve your goal, you have to work at it.
Right.
The third thing is, don't expect to make $1 million, and don't expect to get to the WWE or AEW or Impact overnight. Respect yourself and respect the business. That's gone. I remember in the locker room when it was Gino Martino, myself, and a few other guys were in there, and Piper walked into the dressing room. Not one guy would get up and offer him a seat. Not one guy. It was Gino and I that got up out of respect.
Right.
And
wow. I love Gino, too.
You've got to really want it, and you've got to really want to pay your dues. And the other thing I always say to them, find a reputable school. And what I mean by that is, don't go to a school that's going to teach you how to bump and not teach you the ring psychology, crowd psychology, not train you in promos, and it's going to let you train for 4 months and put you in a ring so you can kill somebody.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
It's not right. The schools today are after money.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they build these young men and women up to the point where they believe they're going to be this, I'm it. Don't get in that ring. I'll tell you, I still get in the ring and I still bump at my age. And not like I used to.
Right.
But I'm telling you right now, I get tired of getting in that ring with green kids and getting stiff.
Right.
Because I'll tell you what, only takes twice and then it's me and you.
Right.
And I will. I'll knock the shit out of you. I really will. But they need that. reputable schools, good schools, schools that don't demean you, male or female. Like, you know what? You don't belong here.
Yeah.
You're overweight. You're stupid. You look like shit. Get out. That's not what this is about.
Exactly.
And I think the other thing that's missing is these people join a school, and then these schools offer these seminars with these big name stars or, veterans and stuff.
Right.
And nobody wants to be bothered to go to it because they think they already know everything there is to know. And it's like, no, you don't. You're learning and I'm not even a wrestler, so I'm not saying I'm an expert on this.
I
but
had
my
an issue
opinion,
a couple years
you
ago
learn
with
every
that.
day.
Remember? I brought people on the show and was like, I have nothing against the person, right? But I don't go to wrestling to see a non-trained wrestler. Because you know why? I care about both opponents' safety first.
You have to understand one thing, and this is what I say to everybody. When I'm in there as a manager and I'm taking your bump and you're against my guy, and we put our lives in each other's hands.
Yep.
So don't go out
100%.
there trying to be super clown.
Yep.
Don't get out there. There used to be a wrestler with APW, Knuckles, not the other guy, Knuckles. Thought it was real.
I know who you mean.
And you can't do that.
Bare knuckle bully.
I guess that was but nice guy.
Nice
Right.
guy,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Get out there. I remember doing a show with Gary Gold, and I do stuff for Showcase Pro Wrestling too.
Ain't your boy.
Yeah,
Gary Gold.
And he's in there with this young kid who thought he was going to be an MMA fighter. I guess he had a reputation. And the first thing I said to him, don't mention anything about, and he does. That's the first thing he does.
Joel?
My son.
Was it Joe? No, was it? All right.
And the next thing I know, he's bringing a baby carriage and a chair, and he whacks Gary in the chest. Gary is down. We had to bring out. This is the truth.
Wow.
Medics.
Really?
Medics. Gary can't breathe, and so now Gary's laying there, and he finally gets to get a chance to breathe. And he said, "I'm going to kill him." I said, "Don't. It's not worth it."
Right. I knew you were going to say that. That's to be the first words out of my mouth if I was Gary Gold.
And so what happened was, as soon as they get to the locker room, that little wrestler.
Yeah.
And the sad part is they put him in the New England Hall of Fame. His bag was packed and out the door.
Good.
He never had a chance to change.
Yeah.
You believe your own stuff. It's
Yeah.
not a good thing. This is a great business. It's a fun business. If you don't want to have fun doing this, don't get in the business.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's enjoyable. Yeah, we get hurt.
Yeah, of course.
That's.
It's funny because I ran into this person at a tribute show a few years ago, back in 2019, and he was still making it all about him. And it's like, this is paying tribute to a guy that passed away 20 years ago. Like, let's not make this about you. And that's all he was trying to do all night.
Yeah.
And don't go into business for yourself.
Right.
I did a show.
Exactly.
I did
Too
a
many
show-
people have been doing that recently.
Here we are. We're doing a show. Bobby Ocean, me, and he hadn't wrestled for a while. I forget his name. I forget his first name. And this other guy. And we go over the match. Okay, you like that? Yep. But I'm the villain. Next thing I know, I'm managing. I'm being a nice guy. This guy is in business for himself.
Right.
Bobby comes out of the ring and said, what do we do now? I mean, and he goes over the barrier into the crowd.
Right.
Are you nuts? And that's what you've got to learn about this business.
Right.
You've got to learn that it takes a lot to get where you got to go. I'm going to use people like Orton, Cena, Kazarian,
Right.
Danielson, AJ Styles. You know what? They clawed their way to the top.
Yep.
Nobody gave them anything.
No.
And they worked hard. And that's what you got to do. But find a reputable school that'll teach you the right way.
Yep.
Two of the guys that I've always been impressed with locally are Danny Miles and
Yes.
Anthony Green. They both got themselves out there. They went places. They learned.
Yep.
They always did things the right way. And now they're two of the biggest.
Anthony Green was a referee.
Yeah.
I remember
Yep.
him.
Yep.
I remember
Anthony
him.
Green used to be a fan that used to come to the show and get
Oh,
autographs.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
He was a
that's how far
referee,
back I
and he
remember
said,
him.
"Someday I'm going to be a pro wrestler." And I said, "I don't think so." But look, but you know what? He's got a good gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't last with NXT.
I thought they made a mistake on that one myself, but
You know what? Maybe, and then again, maybe not, because sometimes you get down there and it's a whole different ball game.
True.
Just to piggyback on that too, like how you're saying, like things you should do. I've always heard people say, ears open, mouth shut.
Yeah. Every
know?
show I do, Even me, and I'm a nobody. Believe me when I say this. I know my role, as The Rock says. I always go back and say, Dave, how'd I do? Was that okay?
right.
Was that promo good? That's the sign of somebody that's knowledgeable, not me. Somebody who wants to learn.
Right.
When these ladies get out of the ring or guys get back in the back, they go, what'd you think of the match? Well, you know what? How did you get hit with a chain and didn't sell it?
Right.
How did you just take a chair shot and you're up in 2 seconds? You just blew this guy's spot. So those are the people, and that's the thing you need to understand. You know, they don't get this. It's a whole different world.
Right. Be like, sometimes they got to slow down too. That's what a lot of my guests say. At first, they were always told, slow down, you're too fast, you're too fast.
What always got me was, as me just being pretty much a fan every day.
Right.
I mean, everybody knows me. I'm around. I help.
Yeah,
maybe
you've
behind
been
the
around a
scenes
long
stuff.
time.
Yeah.
I might help behind the scenes, whatever. So people come to me and say, "Oh, what do you think of my match?" And when some people finally get to the point is, "Well, do you want me to tell you what I really think, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear?" Because even if you told them what you thought, and it was just had a little bit of criticism, they couldn't take it. And it's like, well, then don't ask. Like, I'm not saying it to be a jerk. I'm saying it because you asked, and I'm giving you my honest,
That's how you find good wrestlers, good students, people who really care about this business, because they care enough to say, what did you think? Well, I think you made a mistake here, that you didn't sell it the right way, and he should have done this, or she should have done this, and, well, that's what they told me to do in school. That's a mistake. That's what I'm saying. Find a good school. Learn the right way. And you know what? Don't get in that ring for at least a year.
Excellent. John Dyson, how's the soda business?
The soda business is very well.
Good.
I have a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I just did a wedding, and they found out about Fabo Pop.
Yeah.
And they took 8 cases.
Wow. That's
to
awesome.
use at the wedding. Yep. Fabo Pop is popping. I used to have T-shirts that say "I pop for Fabo Pop," and it's going well. It's going well.
Excellent.
I should give you next time. If we do it again next time, I'll bring you some.
Well, you brought us some
You
last
brought
time.
us some last time, yeah.
So
But I get a
It
new
was
flavor.
good.
Did I bring you the blue raspberry?
No.
Yes,
Oh,
I had a
okay.
blue raspberry.
Because I
Yeah.
had
Did you? I
orange.
know I had lemon lime. Did I bring you lemon lime?
Yep.
Red. I had the
You gave me like 4.
Yeah, because I had
lemon
the
lime,
orange.
lime Ricky, orange, blue
Yes.
raspberry just came out.
I definitely had 2 oranges, and
Yep.
I might have had 2. I'm pretty positive it was the blue ras.
It just came out.
So okay, so
No, but that's good. That's good.
but they were really good.
Thank you.
Last question, then we're gonna play the name game real
You
quick.
can play. I don't.
Chad Epic, who is your favorite indie manager, and why is it Chad Epic?
Well, the answer, Chad Epic, is very simple. I want to put it to you like this because you know what? You're not handsome enough for a girl to give you a kiss. All you know is you run around a ring, you think you got class. You waving your cane, your hair, your beard, you look like an ass. I just want to tell you this. Be really cool. Sit down, my friend. Did you ever go to wrestling school? When I'm looking for managers, you don't fit the card. I just want to tell you something. Sometimes you should be barred. Although you get class a little here and there, you're not my favorite. Bye. Don't want to see you there.
Nice.
Do you think, because I've seen this trend, I'm sorry, Lee,
No,
I didn't
no,
interrupt.
go, Dave.
I've seen this trend with some different promotions, including with Chad Epic, where he's a heel, but he's the ring announcer for the night.
Shouldn't do it.
Okay. I
Shouldn't
just don't know
do it.
what you
That
thought of
happened in Burlington, Massachusetts. And you know what? Either you're one or the other. You can't be both unless you're going to work the storyline. So they were going to try to work the storyline with me in Burlington.
Bill Ricker.
Bill Ricker.
Pop-up
right.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm done with them. I think. I know. But we couldn't find out how we're going to work at these guys. I said, it's pretty easy. Epic's the ring announcer. He's got the perfect opportunity to call John Cena Sr., who doesn't show at that point. All right? Now you start giving me a lot of crap. Now you come out, my guys come out, they do their thing. Your guys come out, they crucify him. You say it's only the beginning. And if that slob Cena Sr. ever shows up, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the storyline is set.
Right.
But that's the difference between somebody that understands this business and somebody who's pretending to understand this business. But Chad's a good guy. Sometimes,
Definitely.
and I wrestled for Baker.
Oh, yeah. For Brickhouse.
Brickhouse Baker. It was supposed to, I'll never forget this. If Baker goes, give him some guff in the beginning, take a slap, I did.
Right.
I'm giving him a jaw jack, and you guys go in for 2 minutes. All right, I'll go in for 2 minutes. 8.5 minutes later,
Wow.
Epic goes, we can't let this in now. The crowd's going nuts. I'm kicking the shit out of him. Then he starts really, and that's the secret of heel versus face.
Absolutely.
Pounding me.
Right.
Yeah, I get up. As soon as I get up and start to come back, he goes like this. As soon as I turn, bang. So it ended where I gave him the FU.
Right.
Or the attitude adjustment. But I have to tell you, I have a lot of respect for Chad Epic.
Oh no, and I
Oh yeah, no, we like.
I want to clarify, like that wasn't
Chad's
a shot
good
at him.
No, I know what you're saying.
But I just think
took a
like
shot at
either
him.
be a heel manager or be a ring announcer. Don't be both on the same.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
You can't
right.
do it. You can't do it.
Right. He should have just been the
Commentary
ring
is one
announcer.
thing, but ring announcer a whole
You
different.
can't.
Right.
You can't. And then he tries to be that evil guy,
Yeah.
and you can't do it.
You can't.
One or the other.
Because you've
Right.
got to have the ring announcer. Like I
Can't
always
be
say,
a
what
complete
people
jerk.
need to learn from the best ring announcer in New England. That's Rich Palladino.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody
Yeah.
better. You know.
Oh, well, you and I might have a difference of opinion there. Rich is a very, very good friend of mine, and I have nothing but good words for my friend Rich Palladino. But I think now, and I'm not going to go into detail because you want to get to the name game, but I think he has some competition.
Yeah, there are some up and coming.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's all I'm going to say.
But I've known Rich for 30 years, and I still
If you're
think
talking about sometimes the student needs to learn from the master,
Yes.
Palladino is the master.
absolutely.
All right. Name game time. We got about a little over 6 minutes. Steve Perkins.
Big time wrestling.
Yep.
Terry, Mr. I'll bleed all over the place if you let me. What about Steve Perkins? Great promoter, understands the business, professional, takes care of people in the back.
Nice.
Brings in some big names,
Sure
knows
does.
how to run a professional wrestling show. I'd love to go back and do a couple of gigs with Big Time. But he is a great guy, great understanding. What do you say about that one?
Oh, one of the nicest guys, and he gets it. He goes out, he hustles, he promotes.
Yes.
You know, he's into everything because he wants it to succeed. He's not there just to say, "Oh, I'm running a show tonight," and who cares if I lose, $75? You know.
Yeah. And what about the show we went to recently?
Yeah, back last in the summertime. You know,
Where was it?
Incredible show.
that was the one they had in Webster back when they brought in the
when Hardee's?
SAT. Yeah, the Hardee's.
The
yeah.
Hotties, yeah. Briscoe Brothers and the SAT.
He's so. Somebody brought the Hotties in.
Right.
They agreed
And he
to do
piggybacked, right?
Yeah.
Smart.
And that was. Can you believe he sold that place out? Selling
Oh, yeah.
standing room only.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a genius. He really is. I got a lot of respect for him, and he doesn't take any guff backstage. When he
Nice.
tells you to pack your bags,
Yep.
you pack your bags.
Absolutely.
He runs a professional show, and he
Nice.
runs it the right way. That's why he gets people like Ric Flair, Bret Hart,
Right.
Ricky Steamboat.
The Hotties.
That's the Hottie
Yeah.
because he runs it the right way.
Yeah. He's booking
Yeah, they just had-
FTR
Him
and
left
Terry.
and right.
Him and Terry.
And they don't just run locally; they're running in North Carolina.
North Carolina,
yeah,
South
yeah.
You know,
Carolina.
they just
down
did
the
shows
East
with
Coast.
Ricky Steamboat came out of retirement and wrestled one last match, and it was for big time
Yeah,
wrestling.
he's a
Yep.
good guy. Ricky's a good guy. Another good guy, Steamboat.
Bo Douglas.
Oh no!
Bo knows. Well, we know we love Bo.
I love Bo Douglas too. There's a young man that's pulled and clawed. He's had his ups, he's had his downs,
Yep.
he's had his demons, which we all have. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
I'm not talking about drugs or alcohol. We've all had issues in life. Bo works hard at what he does. He loves what he does. He's got a school. I've seen some of his students. They are professional. They are professional. And he used to run the back for Dan Marotti, God rest his soul, buddy.
Yeah.
But he did a great job at it. There should be more Bo Douglases, and Bo does know.
Yes. The only thing you're wrong on, Bo's not so young anymore.
No, he's not.
We're all getting older.
Bo's the first one to say that. So
Neither am I.
So how about I'll just throw this kid out, Alec Price. One up. You know Alec?
you don't know Alec Price?
No. Okay. We'll just stick with guys I
Wrestling
know
name?
you
What
know.
is it?
That's his wrestling name, Alec Price. Yeah, he's from East Boston. Does a lot
Salty.
with Chaotic. Yeah.
Oh, chaotic? Yeah, I don't.
He's only started working for
Yeah,
KI.
just
He's a
recently Chaotic.
UFO guy.
Yeah, he was kind of with
was.
Bell Time Club for a while, with
All
playing
right.
with Bo. And
No
I'll
big
show you a
deal.
picture after
All
we get
right.
off there.
Yeah,
You'll probably know who he is.
I'm sorry.
no.
No, that's okay. How about Jose Perez?
I know Jose Perez, another concert professional,
Right.
represents the Latino community very well. Another person that's concerned about the way things go and how they should be done, has a lot of respect for the locker room and for himself. That's important. And he runs the show. Whenever he's in a match, it's done the way it should be done.
Right.
Great professional. There should be more around like him too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. How about Teddy Goods? You know Teddy from Top Rope?
I don't know.
He
if
has
you
a okay. How about
I don't know Steve Ricard from Top Rope. I haven't done too much with them.
all right. So we'll go with Brian Fury.
I know Brian Fury. I have a lot of respect for Brian Fury. There are other people that don't have so much respect
Right.
for Brian Fury. But you know what? I know the Brian Fury I know. Ultimate professional.
Right.
Understands the business. Great trainer. Really does a great job with the business. People are missing all of that.
Right.
You know, we all got faults. But Brian, in my book, he's right up there with the rest.
Nice. How about we'll get your opinion on this one, guy too, Dave. Slick Wagner Brown.
Go for it.
You can't find a better guy. I mean,
No, you can't.
He's, trained people. He trained for Killer Kowalski for many years. He's now got his own school down in Connecticut.
Give him back.
And another guy that gets it. He's out there, every day,
Yeah.
And, he wants to see his students succeed. He's not there just to take their money.
No, he's there for himself, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
To tell his students this is how you do it, and any students he brings, they work well. I remember the first time I worked Slick Wagner Brown, I was a heel, and Brown was a face, and he goes, "Get ready, because we're going to have some fun." Little did I know he was going to chase my butt all the way around the ring, and then it was like Stiff Mike. The first time I worked Stiff Mike, he tied me to the ring with my own tie. And then I had never gone over the top rope the hard way. I go to get in. What does Mike do? Whomp! Here we go. But Slick Wagner Brown, the best.
Nice. All right. So we'll get one more name. Brick House Baker.
Crazy, but the best. I'll tell you, Brick House and I had some great shows with his kids. We did a dog food thing. Unbelievable. Knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable, knows the business, knows how to run the business, knows how to run a show.
Right.
Treats people like professionals because he is a professional. I'd do anything for Brickhouse Baker.
All right, we got Sheldon Goldberg.
Sheldon Goldberg, I have a lot of respect for Sheldon Goldberg. There's a man that understands the business, is not afraid to share what he knows about the business, and I'll tell you this, he's always got his hand out. Not for money, but what can I do to help? Nice. Sheldon's a great guy.
Yes, I love Sheldon. It was great having you back on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
We can do this again.
Love working with Mr.
We appreciate it. It's always fun.
How can you not love Dave? Guys, that's it. We're out. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.